Copyright disclaimer. Under Title 17 U.S.C. Section 107, allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing nonprofit, educational, or personal use, tips the balance in favor of fair use. Okay, this is from The Guardian. Mormon church rocked by child sexual abuse allegations in California. Look-back window results in nearly 100 allegations against the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints.
Look-back window, troll.
By Edward Helmore, March 8, 2025. The Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, LDS, in the U.S. has been rocked by a slew of sexual abuse allegations launched against it in California in the latest scandal to hit the organization that is better known as the Mormon Church. A 3-year look-back legal window that allows adult survivors of sexual assault to file claims in California has produced almost 100 allegations of childhood sexual abuse by Mormon leaders.
Like prestigious executives.
The claims, in keeping with similar allegations against the Catholic Church, the Church of Scientology, the Boy Scouts of America, and other hierarchical institutions in the U.S., have a consistent theme alleging that officials use their power to groom, manipulate, and abuse children, and that senior leaders of the institution that either knew or should have known about the abuse did not act to halt it. Yeah, wouldn't you love to see those folks held accountable? Go, by the way, you guys, go check out, hold on. Oh, it's called Viking Mindset 11. He knows what's up. In the most recent claims against the Utah-based church, 5 plaintiffs allege they were abused in San Diego County, including 3 who say they were sexually assaulted by the top spiritual leaders of their congregations.
Like prestigious executives, troll.
Several allege they disclosed the abuse to other church leaders. A female plaintiff alleged that the leaders acted to protect the abusers and the church, handled the repeated allegations internally, doesn't that sound like LAPD, as a matter of sin, and not one leader reported any matter to police. Birds of an MF feather. A woman from Escondido alleged that she was sexually assaulted from 1961 to at least 1978 by 2 male family members.
Family members,
Otherwise known as incest, including a bishop,
and
a home teacher, assigned to deliver spiritual lessons. I just had this thought, you guys, it's just a question. I saw somewhere online that the same drugs that they're giving various little people, children, to change sexes, allegedly, is the same drug that they give to pedophiles to chemically castrate them. You guys ever hear about that before? I'm just wondering about that. Sorry about all these ads, my goodness. Another claim filed on behalf of the estate.
On behalf of the estate, troll.
Of woman, alleges repeatedly abused by 2 LDS home teachers. Where have we heard this one before? Beginning in 1961, a man alleges he was abused between 5 and 9 times over a 2-month span in 1978 by his bishop. You guys do know at the top of the chain what they're doing, right? I mean, I don't know if this bishop was that, but it's just good food for thought. When he was 14, he alleges he later disclosed the abuse to the bishop of a different area, but was ignored and disregarded plaintiff. In my opinion, anyone who covers this kind of thing up, it's either one of two things. They're doing the same thing to the children, or they're just trying to so-called protect the church so that, like the black PR doesn't get out. I tend to think it's mostly number one. A fifth claimant claims he was abused at age 16 during private lessons by a bishop who told him the lawsuit alleged that if he kept quiet, he would go to heaven. But if he told of the abuse, he would go to hell. I think I covered this story before, but this one is more recent. Hopefully I'm not reading the same thing again. I'm sorry. If I am, I'll take this one off. Michael Carney, a Los Angeles attorney with Slater and Shulman, told the San Diego Tribune that the LDS Church is unique because of how much power and influence the church has over people's lives. Well, wouldn't that be Scientology as well? Which, in my opinion, troll, is that it's not a religion. Catholic Church. Now, Boy Scouts of America, that's a little different. And funny enough, go look and see what happened to those little boys that were AR'd repeatedly. See what happened in that so-called settlement. And how isn't it amazing how the Boy Scouts are still existing? A church spokesperson said the abuse of a child or any other individual is inexcusable. Well, isn't that great for you? A public statement, right? The Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints believes this, teaches this, and dedicates tremendous resources and efforts. It's always the same thing, right? They always give these like flowery little statements. I can't help but think of, who was it? Trying to remember what police officer. I forget if it was Los Angeles or Massachusetts. But there was I think it was Los Angeles, there was either a chief or a police officer, I cannot remember his name, who was going on saying that sexual assault of women is inexcusable, and he was going about saying that he was for women and blah, blah, blah. And meanwhile, he was a rapist. So I can't get dinged on that because of the fact that I didn't mention his name. I don't remember exactly which person it was. The Church of Latter-day, dedicates tremendous resources and efforts. While all these children are getting raped, right? Report and address abuse. Show me all the reports where you reported the pedophiles to the police. I want to see them. I don't believe just wah, 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 wah. Everybody's like, wah, 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 wah. Everybody's talking. I don't believe just wah, wah, wah. I want to see documentation. And did the pedophile actually go to prison? Because you all know what happens to them there, right? Check out Viking Mindset 11. It's what happens when justice is not really served. And outlined steps related to abuse, LDS church leaders and members are instructed to follow, stop the abuse, help victims receive care, right, and comply with whatever reporting is required by law, right. And if we really want to dive deep, what about all the police officers that are not doing their due diligence? Now, we can't put it all on the cops, you guys. I know I'm rough on the cops, but we have to remember that these good cops, the ones that really want to do the right thing, they are also operating in these very diabolical, corrupt systems. Just go back and look at that whole article I had shared about the children of God, how all those people were arrested and then nothing happened. The cops were trying to do the right thing. And the other one, it's a recent video that I had posted. There were over 300 people arrested that were abusing children, whether sexually or physically. The cops busted their asses doing it. And long story short, nothing happened. To get, just to cut to the chase. So those were good cops trying to do the right thing. But the spokesperson also noted that the cases were filed, let's see, this is the out, you guys, filed by a single contingency law firm, which is aggressively marketed for clients, and many are decades old, and some potential witnesses have died. Oh, isn't that effing convenient, right? Isn't that convenient? There's got to be a way to take witness statements into court if they're deceased. There's got to be a way to do that. That would change a lot of stuff throughout the world. I may just keep this up, you guys. I might have covered this twice. I don't know that it's necessarily the same article because this is really recent, but the church takes these claims seriously. Right. And is carefully investigating each case individually. Right. The spokesperson added, early investigation has revealed multiple discrepancies in many of the claims. Sound like gaslighting to you guys? It does to me. The lawsuits against the LDS Church have become so numerous and with so many common threads. Can't you guys, I can't wait till the Scientology ones start. You guys know it's coming. And if you are a former child Scientologist that you were either sexually or physically abused, neglected, please, I'm begging you guys to come forward. You have so much support right now, and there's not enough fair gaming in the world. There's way more people to help and defend you guys than there ever was before. And you guys already know what I think. I can't get too deep here. The lawsuits, let's see. Okay, I already read that. That attorneys want to consolidate the actions into a single multi-district litigation in the Central District of California. Where I stand now, and you guys know I am not a law expert or about the judiciary systems. That's why I like to watch people like BJ Investigates. But I don't know what I think about these consolidated lawsuits anymore. I sometimes think it's just to F the victims. Maybe not intentionally. I could be wrong. A lawyer that specializes in this victim, helping the victims, might be able to explain it to me. One focus of the litigation against the church involves claims that an LDS helpline. Now I know I read something like this somewhere, but I'm gonna keep it up. You guys know that a lot of times that's where the handlers are, right? Especially for the trafficking. The helpline was used to suppress reports of abuse and shield abusers, not to help victims. Of course, cover up bees like that. Cover up for these very wealthy people, and I don't think all wealthy people are bad, but that's how it works. I don't think all wealthy people are bad. I'm just talking about the evil ones. The LDS's church's general handbook directs church leaders to not involve themselves in civil or criminal cases for members in their units. Sound like Scientology? Must be a mother effing coincidence, right? In their units without first consulting with church legal counsel. Can't help but think of Moxon, even though he's not a Mormon. Institutions are more concerned about their public appearance, like Black PR, because that translates into monetary donations, said Mitchell Garabedian, an attorney known for representing sexual abuse claims against the Catholic Church. History has taught us that first and foremost, institutions protect themselves and not the child. It's honestly kind of seeming like that to me within the whole entire system. But the success of claims against individuals and institutions is not as legally sure-footed as it was at the most of the Me Too movement. That's, what do you call it? Controlled opposition, by the way. 7 years ago, earlier this week, Jay-Z filed a lawsuit against attorneys, Tony Busby and David Fortney, and their Jane Doe client over a lawsuit claiming sexual abuse that was subsequently dropped. I kind of stopped following this. I don't know. Maybe I'll do a video on it. It looks like a horse and pony show to me. I think Sean Puffy Combs P. Diddy is the sacrificial lamb. And I personally believe he's done most of these things he's accused of. That's my opinion. But I just think he's being thrown out there. What about the other ones doing this, right? Jay-Z, also known as Sean Carter, proposed 3 causes of action to an Alabama court: malicious prosecution. See what rich people can do. Malicious prosecution, abuse of process, and civil conspiracy against all 3 defendants, as well as defamation against the Jane Doe, claiming the allegations of rape against him were knowingly false and malicious. I personally, it's my opinion, it's my opinion that Jay-Z did it. Next month, movie mogul Harvey, why are we going into this? Next month, movie mogul Harvey Weinstein, look at his face, you guys. He looks creepy AF. Faces retrial in New York on rape charges after his earlier convictions 5 years ago for the 3rd-degree rape of 1 woman. You guys all know it was only 1 that he did that to, right? Come on. And a 1st-degree criminal sex act against another woman were tossed on appeal. So this is what rich people can do, you see? When they're really, really super wealthy, or maybe just more powerful. I mean, I don't know which one comes first. And I don't know who's doing the rituals. I mean, I suspect, but... According to Wendy Murphy, a former sex crimes prosecutor and director of the women's... Okay, this is a different article then. Good. According to Wendy Murphy, a former sex crimes prosecutor and director of the Women's and Children's Advocacy Project in Boston, it's hard to prove liability in claims against institutions because the plaintiff needs to show that a high-level officer had knowledge and failed to take action. Sounds like the LAPD. With institutions that are in some way structured around secrecy. You guys know what I told you. Claims of offenses in cases dating back decades can be especially difficult to establish. You know what would help, you guys? I'm not going to get too graphic here, but a dirty t-shirt, that's what would happen. I mean, that's what would help, I mean to say. You guys know what I mean. I remember reading about one lady who had been sexually battered, sexually assaulted, raped by a corrections officer. I think it was New York. I can't remember exactly. But put it like this. She kept the clothes. That's all I'm going to say. Funny how those scientific, biological tests are pretty flawless when looking for DNA evidence. Maybe some of these police officers need to learn about all that. Capacity to structure secrecy so that they can somehow avoid being held accountable. Like a narcissist. By the way, they create power structures also means they have to accept the consequences that a lot of bad stuff is going to happen, Murphy said. Despite efforts to weaken liability standards, Murphy said deference to the sanctity of religious organizations, like religious freedom, provides unbelievable natural insulation. I think it was all by design, from accountability and oversight, not just because that's how the legal standards are set up, but because of an added layer of First Amendment protections. Inversion, anyone? Law enforcement often doesn't want to intrude behind the doors of godly places. Maybe the decent, good cops out there that want to know they can't fight a multi-billion-dollar business. Because we can church all day long, but look at who's got the money in these societies. Who's doing all the raping and all the... I mean, it's not just churches, but... Whatever the legal outcome of abuse claims against the Mormon Church, says Garba- Garabedian, any change will probably come externally from the legal framework of institutional protections, like freedom of religion. Institutions are icebergs unto themselves. So the real change comes from the public realizing that institutions are not properly supervising and protecting children. They're the ones raping them, he said. And the public is now more aware that they have to watch their children. And also, too, I remember a while ago looking into how there's things going on within some of the more powerful institutions or corporations in which women sometimes get raped within these businesses. And how it's handled is a lot different. I can't remember exactly what clauses are used to help the victims, but there's another way to go about it. In the U.S., call or text the Child Help Abuse Hotline on 800-422-4453 or visit their website for more resources and to report child abuse or DM for help. For adult survivors of child abuse, help is available at askasupport.org. In the UK, the NSPCC offers support to children on 0800 1111 and adults concerned about a child on 0808 800 5000. The National Association for People Abused in Childhood, NAPAC, offers support for adult survivors on 0808 801 0331. In Australia, children, young adults, parents, and teachers, unless the teacher's raping the children, can contact the Kids Helpline on 1-800-55-1800. There's that 18. Adult survivors can seek help at Blue Knot Foundation on 1300-657-380. Other sources of help can be found at Child Helplines International. So I will leave a link in the description box. Like and subscribe if you choose. Otherwise, have an amazing day or night wherever you are. Peace.